look, we gotta have a serious talk about Ahsoka, man. We gotta have a serious talk.
Right,
No, her show's about to come up. Her show's
Right.
about to come up, and I'm excited for Rosario Dawson because I really liked her version of Ahsoka in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. But just Filoni,
Mr. Filoni, we need to have a talk.
Yeah, you have a hard on for this character. I know that Ahsoka's your baby. You created her, and you made her prominent in the Clone Wars, and you ended up making her one of the most interesting and most interesting characters in Star Wars. So I give you that.
Well, I mean, you see what happens to his other babies. Ezra, he's just been cast off into the void, for the foreseeable future.
That he might show up in the Ahsoka show.
Kanan, I mean, technically not a character of his creation, but Kanan, blinded, dead. Ahsoka's clearly the favorite child.
Prince Jr.
Savage Opress, stabbed through the heart. Ahsoka's the favorite child.
The favorite child because everyone else is dead. But man, look, Ahsoka's great, but I'm sorry, as hard as you can try, Ahsoka can't be the face of Star Wars.
Right. I don't like that she's getting that superhero, Marvel superhero treatment, especially when you consider that she wasn't really supposed to be that significant of a Jedi initially. Initially the plan was she dies during or before 66. Yeah, that was the plan originally, and I'm glad that she survived beyond that. I love the character and everything, but it's she's starting to become to the point where it's check her midichlorian count real quick. Are you sure she's not the chosen one?
Exactly. The first episode, she's a baby controlling a giant saber tiger. Anakin didn't do that as a baby.
Anakin didn't do that. Rey probably could have, but Anakin didn't.
So yeah, I'm just saying, they're going out their way to just make her so powerful, but they're almost forgetting that Anakin is supposed to be the chosen one.
Right.
These crazy things.
Right. The story, Star Wars' story is was originally supposed to be Anakin's story, his redemption, his tragedy. It's supposed to be his story, but
it's just man. I'm just and I've just been feeling this for the longest time after the season finale, the series finale of Clone Wars. I just felt it's too much.
Right. And that's not to say that everybody that nobody else can have their big moments. It's just Ahsoka has so many.
So many. And it's Clone Wars is not an Ahsoka show. It's not even, I wouldn't even say it's fully an Anakin and Obi-Wan show, even though you technically can consider them the main characters, but it was an ensemble. It was an ensemble show. A bunch of other characters had their own specific development and storylines. It wasn't just focused on Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka.
I mean, if anything, it's about the clones. If anything,
clones, yeah, the clones elevated the most. They elevated the clones the most in that show.
Yes,
it was. If you want to argue anyone that's technically truly the main characters of the Clone Wars, it's the clones.
Yeah, it's Jango Fett. He's the main character.
Jango Fett. Right, and so it's just I just don't like that. All the other characters are undercut because of Ahsoka. It's even Anakin and Obi-Wan felt a bit undercut, even though I know what they were trying to do because they knew Revenge of the Sith was Obi-Wan and Anakin's story. So it's we don't need that to bleed into the Clone Wars, but just other characters Ruby's hard-on crush, Asajj Ventress just disappears. We don't see from her ever again.
She apparently dies off screen.
We don't see her ever again.
She apparently dies off screen.
No question what happens off screen. But, Boba Fett, we don't hear from him again until the Mandalorian. The other
man
Jedi,
goes radio silent for 20 years.
Radio silent. There's so many other characters, that were elevated so much. Even Jar Jar Binks was elevated from the Clone Wars. Wars.
Well, and it's also messed up because Jar Jar Binks actually has an interesting story post the Clone Wars, and they don't touch on it at all inside of the books. The man becomes exiled. He lives until the end of Episode 6. He's an outcast clown on Naboo by the time Episode 6 happens.
Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, like, Ahsoka, like, okay, I know the Ahsoka fans are not going to like me saying this already. I'm already pissing them off, but, like, they're starting, for you wrestling fans out there, Ahsoka is probably going to turn into the John Cena of Star Wars, where it's like they're just going to oversaturate her so much, like everyone else is going to get married. Like, not everyone, but just like seriously, just like, or the Roman Reigns of Star Wars now, because like Roman Reigns was like that for a while. But like Dave, like you got to tone it back with the Ahsoka stuff just a little bit.
Yeah, like, it was bad enough for me. Like back when I was watching Mandalorian season 2, and I noticed that Ahsoka was in that episode, I was asking myself, why did Ahsoka live after Vader's death?
Yeah. I mean, I thought about that for a second, but I was like, well, they probably live a long time, and also she's really young. Well, also she was really young when the Clone Wars happened. I think she was like,
the
what,
younglings
17?
were really young, but then they died during Order 66.
Well, they got purged. That's different.
They got purged.
they got purged.
The difference.
Ahsoka got to live long enough to get a GED. All right, you know the younglings didn't. All right, that's.
Yeah, I really do hope that for like, I hope that there is some like miracle project that Ahsoka like. We don't really need to have her shine as a character, because we've seen that time and time again. What I'm hoping for is they give her a good send off to her character, as opposed to, you know, dying in Rebels and then coming back in Rebels, which is probably one of the main reasons why I didn't like Rebels, is how they brought back Ahsoka and that whole like.
Well, because area
that Ezra was in, like it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think, because like then we're gonna get into like time travel and stuff like that, or like time jumping, and you know how I am about time travel and time jump stuff. Yeah, it's just it creates more questions than answers. So like, yeah, I'm hoping that for the Ahsoka show, at least they give her like a good send off that isn't so like that isn't. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I just hope that they give her a good send off.
No, I mean, I imagine they will, because she's dead by the time the sequels happen. She like you know she's one of the Force Ghost voices in Episode 9. Like she's dead by the time the sequels happen. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if during the Ahsoka show they actually kill her off at the end. But
that's actually what I'm kind of hoping for, if I'm being honest. Not to say that it's like a bad thing. It's just like Ahsoka's got to die at some. People got to die at some point.
I mean, exactly. Like at this point, because of how many moments she's had and how invested everyone is in that character, I want to see how it ends for her. I want to see what happens, you know?
I do die of age for all I care. Die like the Captain America from Endgame or something.
Right. Because like
it's like your time is coming, sweetheart.
Yep. There's like nothing else they could do for her that they haven't done already. They put her on a pedestal. Like
and then they put the pedestal on top of the pedestal, and then rinse, repeat.
Yep. So yeah, I hope you guys brought it up. Like I do hope, like, you know, with the Ahsoka show, that like it will actually give her closure as a character. You know, whether she gets killed off or she dies of natural causes or whatever. I think people will be upset if she got killed, but maybe like she dies of natural causes or something. But
people are going to be upset when Ahsoka dies. I mean, because people have fallen in love with this character for going on 15 years at this point, and rightfully so. The character is very fun and entertaining. It's just we've seen her in a lot of shit. It's time. Her time is coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with like any character that people love that dies. Like people were upset when Obi-Wan. You know, anyone who like grew up with the prequels, watching the prequels, you know, sees Episode 4, they're probably upset when Obi-Wan dies. You know, people are upset when Luke Skywalker dies. You know, or when Han Solo dies. You know, because it's like these characters you fall in love with and everything. But it's like, and you know, it's no different for Ahsoka. Like, you know, eventually she's going to have to meet her end, and I imagine that it is probably going to be during the show, because like, you know, she's dead by the time the sequels happen. That's like confirmed at this point.
Okay, so I need to settle this because I have no idea. I don't even know if you guys know. So I'm going to ask Google this. How old is Ahsoka in The Mandalorian?
Ooh, good question.
50s, I would assume.
By the beginning of the Galactic Civil War, she's roughly 32 years old, since it starts in 4 BBY, meaning
Right.
she's around 41 when it concludes in 5 ABY. With The Mandalorian Season 2 in the year 9 ABY, that would place Ahsoka somewhere in the neighborhood of 44 to 45 years old.
Okay.
That would make sense because I'm pretty sure she's like 17 when the Clone Wars end.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds
Because
right.
she's like early teen. Because I think she's like 12 or 13 when the Clone Wars, like when she first gets introduced in the Clone Wars. Like she's young.
Yeah,
So-
she's a small little dude, girl.
Anyway,
My bad.
but yeah, okay, so interesting because like I was just unsure if she aged the same way or similar or like if she
no, it's not like Grogu where you look like a baby but you're 50. You know, it's
like kid Ahsoka is actually older than Anakin.
man, that would be something.